Yes, welcome to the Rants, a show where I yell at you for as long as it takes me to get somewhere more interesting. Today's episode, the Frontmobe. Yes, the Frontmobe. What can I say? I'm pretty surprised that this is rant-worthy, but here we are in 2021, and people have somehow, once again, forgotten what the Frontmobe is. So if you're one of those people that already knows what it is, you know what it is. You don't need to watch this stupid video. If you don't know what it is, this video could maybe tell you something if you're willing to listen. And at the very least, maybe you go and do some research and find out some other cool stuff at the same time. Why is there controversy? Why are people confused about Frontmobes? Let's go to the beginning. People are confused about Frontmobes because kiteboarders used the wrong name for something. That's what it boils down to. And like most other tricks in kiteboarding, when people are confused about the names, it's because kiteboarders used the wrong name for something. If we go back to the beginning, typically Mobes were any invert with a front side rotation only. So the first trick, a back Mobe, a back roll with a front side rotation, was called a back Mobe. And even just a Mobe as short, because really I think that was the only one people were doing. Later on, obviously, people did a front roll with the front side 360, and hence that was also a Mobe, and now it's called the Frontmobe. But if you didn't know that, and you're a kiteboarder, I think the logical reason for why they called what they did a Frontmobe was it was the opposite of a back Mobe. A back rotation is the opposite of a front rotation. So logically you would think a front Mobe would be the opposite of a back Mobe. Well, it's not, and it isn't, and it was wrong. But together we can help fix this mistake. You too can learn the proper names and tell people about it. So, a front Mobe. A front Mobe is a front roll with a front side 360, which opposes the rotation. A back Mobe does not oppose the rotation. A front Mobe isn't really a trick that's similar to other board sports because you kind of need a handle to make that happen. The old NIS, non-inverted slim chance, for anyone wondering what that acronym stands for. And it's just as confusing as the front Mobe because as far as I can tell, I think NIS was actually used in the beginning as a diss. I don't think it's the trick that people think it is nowadays, which is the front Mobe. I do think the NIS did serve a logical purpose as a name for a trick in the beginning. What I think happened was, I think people used the word NIS as a diss to people that couldn't do a slim chance properly. When people were just dangling and they were sending their kite in the air and just not getting inverted at all and swapping behind their back and saying, I did a slim chance. People were saying, no, you didn't do a slim chance, you did an NIS. And that was just as a joke, which I think was quite funny. And actually now I think about it more, I think I'm gonna start using that name. I think it's clever. But later on, people started using that name for a front Mobe. I don't know why. I guess because they think if you're upside down without your legs straight in the air, you're not inverted, which clearly is wrong. Look up definition of an invert. But they were using the word NIS for front Mobe, which just added confusion to what was already happening. Now you might ask, what then is the old school front Mobe thing that people were doing? What is that trick? What do you call it then if it's not really a front Mobe? What is it? I would say it's a bit of a bastard of a trick. I mean, clearly it's just a scent dangle, so I'd have no problems with just disregarding that trick forever and not even talking about it. But if you really want to name it and give some meaning to that trick, I would say it's the closest thing between a front blind Mobe and Moby Dick. It's kind of a bastard of those two tricks, but I would never say the execution really looks that nice. Some people really froth on that trick. I've never ever liked that trick. I think it looks fucking horrible. If you're a kid and you're watching this, hey, do it if you like. It's up to you. This is just my opinion. I think it looks disgusting. It's not really a trick. It's just a dangle. You're dangling into the air, swapping early, and then just unwinding after it. At no point do people ever really get inverted in that trick. And if you're not getting inverted, I don't even think it's a mobe. So to call it a front mobe, or to call it a front blind mobe, or to call it a Moby Dick, I think it's just not really correct in any sense of the word. And if you want to do it, I mean, I just call that trick a dangle front mobe, or dangle front blind mobe, if I was ever going to name it. But yeah, there you go. I feel like that's the history of the front mobe, the problems, the reasons why everyone's confused. If you have any other questions, hit me up in the comments. I'm happy to answer things or just rant about life in general, as we all do. Anyway, peace out. I hope that was helpful. Tune in for the next rant, or don't.